Retro Requiem.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Retro Requiem. Tonight, we are doing a spoiler cast for the movie that we just saw, Marvel's Captain America, The Winter Soldier, second Captain America film. Be forewarned, if you didn't know this already, we will be spoiling the entire movie and everything that happens inside of it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so there's no time or anything, don't skip to anything, just don't listen to it. Just leave. Get the fuck out now. If you're still here, with me is a guy who could be, he bear a slight resemblance to Chris Evans, Andrew Wagner.
Hey guys, that's a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, no, of course. And somebody who bears a slight resemblance to Scarlett Johansson, Brian Perry.
It's a better compliment and more fitting, I think.
That's true. Yeah, I am Collin McConnell, and
he bears his resemblance to Falcon.
Well, Anthony Mackie.
I don't look like Anthony Mackie, man.
So yeah, let's start off here with just some broad impressions. What did you guys think?
I really liked it. Marvel has definitely stepped their game up, I think, with these past couple films. And me and Andrew were talking about this. We saw the first Captain America. And the biggest improvement, I think, from the first Captain America to the second Captain America is the action choreography is just so much better in Captain America 2. I mean, it was really good. It was brutal.
I was surprised how violent it was
Captain America laid some dudes out.
The guy was thrown into the propellers of a hovercraft.
Yeah. So I think that was my biggest qualm with the first movie. And I think the story's better from the first movie as well.
Oh, definitely. Well, yeah, I think the first movie story was good for an origin story, but
yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good, but
enjoyed it.
I thought it was a little cheesy here and there. Swinging on a chain looked bad, and most of the action sequences were like montages. It's like bam, bam. That's
true. It. They montage much of the conflict,
and it just felt like a full on. Movie.
Dude, it's not a conflict. It's World War II. It's not a conflict.
Well, World War II is actually a conflict. They call it it's a
Vietnam was a conflict.
Yeah, Vietnam was a conflict.
If you Wikipedia World War II, it will say a conflict that took place between whatever and whatever. So, suck it.
No, I think there's actually a difference in it. There's if you officially declare. But anyhow, that's
okay. Whatever. I liked it a lot. It was very fun, enjoyable. Did a lot of things right. Minor quibble about action scenes. I thought they were good. One broad thing that I have bone to pick with Hollywood in general is that maybe this was Jason Bourne who started this.
Shaky cam.
What?
Shaky cam.
Yes, and also cutting like 3 times. We talked about the Raid 2 before we actually went into the studio, the theater, and one of the great things about that film and its predecessor is that it really, you get a good sense of geography, and they don't, you see, I think you'll have one master shot of a fight scene, that's all you need, because the kinetic nature of the actors and the fighting and all that, it just flows so well, and you don't need a bajillion cuts and all the shaky cam and shit. But that aside, it was still very enjoyable.
For stunt double purposes, they probably need that for
That's
Captain
true.
America 2, whereas the Raid, they have dudes who are trained.
They do their own.
Yeah, they do their own stunts.
That's true.
Captain America, Scarlett Johansson's not doing that shit.
But but I still think there are ways you can get around it. It's visually, it's not appealing to me. But it doesn't take me out of the movie completely.
I like the fight scene between the Winter Soldier and Cap with Winter Soldier doing crazy knife things.
Oh yeah. That was fun. They had several good showdowns.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about the Winter Soldier, specifically the character. Brian, you had a couple.
I think there have been a few movies that did the whole friend turned bad guy sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And there was one in particular where he had lost his memory or something, and he was working with the bad guy. I can't remember it though. I'll look it up and bring it up later or something. But I thought that he was good in the movie. I just thought he took a back seat to the rest of the plot. And I thought that was such a strong thread line. Oh, dude, this is my best friend from the past. And he definitely, he was just a background character. He was just an assassin. That's all it was.
I wouldn't call him a background character.
His mind was... He was a clean slate that just had to kill people.
Yeah, they could have... I think they could have creatively done something different with his character.
Those they weren't showed as Bucky Barnes from the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've never read a Captain American comic or anything,
There were people in the theater and they're like, "Oh my god, it's Bucky!" And I looked back and I was like, "You know, like, okay, man." No, and then
I thought he fell off a mountain.
Yeah, just to finish the thought, and then he survived at the end. Yeah. Which kind of bothers me because now that means he's going to be involved in like a future film or something.
That did bother me that they did not. It's called The Winter Soldier, and they didn't resolve the plot line. That bothered me.
Yeah, it's called The Winter. I didn't think about that. It's called The Winter Soldier, and he's definitely not the focus of the movie.
No, well, actually, in here, the first big spoiler would be that the main overall adversary in the movie is the same one from the first movie, which is Hydra. The idea is that what's his name? Toby Hooper. No, not that's the director who made Texas Chainsaw. I forget the actor's name. He played the German, or as it turns out, Swiss. I think he actually says this way. Swiss scientist in the first one who helped the Red Skull. It turns out that he transferred his consciousness into a large computer system.
He pulled a Johnny Depp.
And so he's still alive, and actually he was part of the formation of S.H.I.E.L.D. And
really?
Yeah.
DC
sorry, yeah. Yeah, but he was integral in the formation of S.H.I.E.L.D., and the idea is that S.H.I.E.L.D. from the beginning has been a front for a new Hydra that is trying to basically create a world of like absolute order. Mm-hmm. And so through that, the film touched on a lot of interesting kind of real life, like real world fears about surveillance and all that stuff, which I thought was very well handled.
Yeah,
but
touched on Minority Report, killing people before that crime actually happened.
Yeah, all that stuff about
there was no oracles though. So
well, yeah, there were no bald people in tubs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I mentioned this after the movie that I like that it wasn't about some like MacGuffin, like some substance that some bad guy needed to get to rule the world, and they were trying to playing keep away with it or anything like that.
Yeah, like the I can't remember what the substance called in Thor 2.
Ether.
It was like ether or something like that.
And then like the Tesla cube and former things like that. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
No, I think it's good. I think what the storyline did well is that it's a very current thing that's going on with surveillance drones and technology. And the NSA scandal with like Obama recently, like it's very relevant to what's going on in America right now. And I think it really went really well with Captain America's character as a whole, that he was like against it. Yeah. Although something that was kind of glossed over, and Nick Fury referenced it. He was like, "Oh, Captain America was like back in the day, like we didn't do anything wrong." And it's like,
they kind of interred Japanese American people in,
it's like,
camps.
Well.
No, he said that the SSR did actually horrible things. We did those things because we wanted to protect the freedom. This is not freedom. This is fear.
Yeah,
that's what he said in the movie.
Internment camps are pretty fearful. I would
just,
I would say
that he did it for the freedom of people.
But that's what. That's what they're saying. Hydra's saying to an extent.
Yeah.
No, but they're living through fear though, because you don't want to be on that algorithm, so you don't get killed. So you're living through fear, not freedom.
When they put people in internment camps,
I know, but you're
fearful. But
the thing is, they put the people in internment camps so that people will be able to live free because of the Japanese threat. I mean, it's wrong. I will say it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong at all. I'm just saying that the logic behind it was for freedom, not for that the American people have to live under fear.
Okay, well, whatever. But yeah, I guess as you mentioned the drone stuff, the main like weapons in the movie are basically 3 giant drones.
Yeah.
So
the
helicarriers.
Yeah.
Freaking giant
from Avengers.
With like gigantic sniper rifles on the bottom.
Pretty much. That kind of stretched plausibility that they could like.
I'll let it go. I saw that they were like gigantic like sniper rifles. I was like,
What was it that I turned to you at one point and I was like, oh, it was when Nick Fury gets in like there's an assassination attempt on him. They like blow up his car and he like cuts his way into like not only through the bottom of the car but through cement into he just creates a hole. There's a hole there.
Okay, I think this is part of a bigger issue. Why does it seem like Marvel is the One Piece of franchises where they can't kill off their characters. Like, why does Coulson have to come back?
Yeah.
Why does Nick Fury die at one point? Well, okay, they try to kill him the first time, he escapes.
Yeah.
They try to kill him the second time, he dies.
Yeah, it appears that he dies.
And then he comes back another time.
Turns out.
And it's like, come on, Nick Fury, just die, man.
The funny thing is, though, they did mention that they gave him a serum so his heart would slow down. And if you're actually looking at the scene, they actually do inject him with something. So it's pretty funny that if you look at
it makes sense,
yes.
But look here. It's actually all comic books. There's a joke that the only person who never comes back from the dead in comic books is Uncle Ben. He doesn't. I'm surprised they haven't done that.
Poor Uncle Ben.
That is true, though.
His ass is dead. But I mean,
isn't like Peter Parker coming back in the newest iteration of Spider-Man?
I didn't know he was gone.
Yeah, Miles.
Oh, yeah, he died.
Something is the new Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Well, of course, Peter Parker is coming back. Look. I mean, these comic books have been running for the better part of like half a century. So, yeah. So, okay. Let's talk about the main antagonist, Robert Redford. I forget what his character was even called.
Pierce.
Yeah,
Alexander Pierce.
He was the Secretary of S.H.I.E.L.D. One of the.
No, he was Secretary of World Peace something.
Well, he worked for. He was part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
He was in the S.H.I.E.L.D. building. He had an office, so he had to be somebody. Him.
Head of S.H.I.E.L.D. and head of like World Peace.
No, because Nick Fury is the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think Andrew's right. He's the head of the World Council thing, and the World Council thing is above S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. is like the army of, I guess, the World Council thing, I think is what it is. That's why the World Council thing is voting on stuff for S.H.I.E.L.D.
If you say so.
I think that's what it is.
That's as plausible.
That's what I took it out of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, he's one of the most obvious bad guys I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, since I saw him the first
life.
time in like the trailer, I was like, oh, Robert Redford's the bad guy.
As soon as he's like, sometimes to build a new world, you have to tear the old one down.
Yeah.
That's a very bad guy thing to say.
That is an incredibly bad guy thing to say. Yeah, they gave like. They had, like, the misdirection things they usually do. Like, they had him offset against the council members. Like, he was trying to... Because this is after Nick Fury appears to have been killed. And he's like, I'm going to find who killed my friend. And the council members are kind of set up as the antagonists at first. But it's like, they half-heartedly did it, I feel like. It's like, yeah, you guys know, but we have to go through this. So here's this, like, plot device. And then we just let it go. And he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
He shoots his maid, though. I like that part.
In his defense, Robert Redford's a really good actor.
Oh, yeah.
And he acts it beautifully. He acts it beautifully in the movie. He's, like, really good. Like, when he shoots his maid because his maid sees something that she shouldn't. And stuff like that. Or when he smacks the Winter Soldier in the face. Which I love. He was a powerful... At the same time, we knew he was the bad guy. He was a good bad guy. Yeah, I don't want to take away from the film and act like we're like, oh, no, he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
No, he was just horrible at hiding that he was a bad guy. And for Nick Fury, the guy who like knows everything, it's like, come on, man.
Well, you're the closest friend from him in how many years?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They always kind of have a...
To an outside view, it's obvious, but to a person
Are you saying Nick Fury has a blind spot?
Oh, go fuck yourself. No, but that's the thing about all these Marvel Studio films is that they're well written in a way that they can laugh at themselves. And even Nick Fury says he talks about when he's talking about how close he was to Robert Redford's character. He actually says, this is why I have trust issues, because this guy I was friends with, stabbed me in the back. So I mean, they always, the writing is good enough that it doesn't take itself too seriously, where you're like, man, fuck you.
Yeah. And I guess the next big spoiler of the movie is that S.H.I.E.L.D. at the end of the movie is destroyed. It's just completely and totally gone. So how do you guys think this affects the rest of the Marvel Universe going forward?
It changes it.
Well, I haven't seen Thor 2, although I think I read a plot synopsis somewhere. But
at least you read the plot synopsis.
Yeah, right. But so the Phase 2, as they call it, the Phase 2 movies I have seen are this and Iron Man 3, and they're very similar in their endings in that the structures they had built up for their main characters were basically destroyed by the end. It seemed like a clean slate. Like Tony Stark has the thing taken out of him, which powered the Iron Man suits. You're like, how is he going to be Iron Man?
Just put the power in the suit.
I guess. Whatever. Fuck you, Andrew.
I'm just saying.
They set it up.
Simple.
They ended Iron Man 3 by him tossing the thing out. So they're basically.
Who's the guy that he works with?
Oh, look, they're gonna find a way.
Cheadle. Who's he?
They're gonna find a way to bring him back.
He just jumps in a suit and can
They're gonna find a way to bring him back. But all I'm saying is they have set it up so that at the end of this movie, Nick Fury, gets rid of the fucking eye patch and like burns all of his secret agent stuff, and so, yeah, like stars or Jesus Christ. S.H.I.E.L.D. is officially... Look, I love Resident Evil. It's just in my mind. I can't get it out.
Also, I was thinking Star Labs for DC.
Oh, I was thinking S.H.I.E.L.D. or
Stars.
Yeah, Raccoon City Special Police Force. But, yeah, so it's gone. Like, that's in Marvel is, like, that's a really big part of that. And they organize the Avengers, so it's kind of setting it up where... I guess this is a way... where it's like, at the beginning of a movie, it's usually like they're far apart, and you're like, they're saying to you, how will they ever get back together? And if you're like, we know they're going to find each other, we know they're going to be the Avengers again. This way, you have so many movies to work with that you're like, man, they're really far apart, aren't they? Like, how are they ever going to get back together? So, it's a...
You know how they're going to start Avengers 2? They're going to have the clip of Colby Smulders, who plays Robin on How I Met Your Mother, and plays Agent Hill in this. Remember at the end of the first Avengers, we're like, how will they know to come back together?
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, when the world needs them, they'll come back together. They're going to play that clip to begin that movie.
Probably.
And it's like, they're going to show this, like, ominous force approaching the planet, and all of a sudden, like, cut to, like, Tony Stark partying or some shit like that. And then, like, they're all going to be in these far out places, like, in these different reaches of the globe, and they're going to come together.
It's Ultron.
Or a different world, according to Thor.
Ultron.
How does Thor, like, where does he end up? Does he end up on Earth at the end of it?
Of what?
Thor 2.
Thor 2.
He's on Earth with Natalie Portman.
Yeah, so his
boo thing.
Even he's out of his element too.
Yeah,
so like Captain America's not a soldier anymore. Tony Stark has taken the thing out of his chest, which like even though he's
symbolically,
it's symbolically like he's taken off that burden of being a superhero.
S.H.I.E.L.D's gone.
S.H.I.E.L.D's gone. Captain America's no longer a soldier. He's going after,
the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. And Black Widow is no longer a spy. Because she doesn't have her covers anymore.
Yeah.
By the way, Black Widow, I really like what they did with her in this movie.
I did too.
All other movies, she wasn't needed. She didn't. Yeah. I didn't like her, and this one, I actually was like. Actually, very nice.
I never minded her, but I think she was definitely better in this movie. And what did you guys think about the relationship between her and Captain America?
Oh, very good. I'm joking.
This brings up our final point.
I've been joking about this since we got back that I'm shipping Captain America and Black Widow in these movies now. But no, really, like their relationship was really good in this. They just had they're so well written. They had a really good repartee or whatever, back and forth. Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans, like they are in like there's a second skin to them, these characters. Chris Evans especially. I mean, let's talk about him. Like he was a Human Torch. He was Human Torch first. I don't know what he actually did besides that. He probably a bunch of like
small movies. He had Cellular. He did Cellular.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. But he just like, and you wouldn't, because I think he like played a lot of lovable douchebag characters before this.
That's what he is.
This is completely different. Like he's this guy, very old school. He's been frozen. He was frozen in time for like Scout. A Boy Scout, and he just plays it perfectly.
I think the perfect embodiment of his character is the scene where he goes to visit an older Peggy Carter in the hospital, and at this point she's like really old, and you can tell she's dealing with dementia. Yeah. Because like their conversation restarts while he's talking to her, so you have to think that like every time he goes back, every time it's probably the same conversation. Yeah. And every time he constantly will go back there. And like that's just embodiment of his character right there. Yeah. And I really appreciated it. Mm-hmm. Going forward, another thing they referenced, which I really like before I forget it, is they referenced Doctor Strange in this movie.
They did. It was one line of dialogue.
Name dropped him
because they said like keeping an eye on all these people, and they
Stephen Strange,
and I was like, Doctor Strange.
Yep. So do you think he could be coming around in a new movie?
Well, it'll be Phase 3, I guess. Yeah. And. So I think they name drop a director or a writer, and for the Doctor Strange movie, and it's like, ooh, that'd be good. I forget who, but they could do that really, really well.
Let's just talk about the greatest Doctor Strange casting of all time, Nicolas Cage, man.
Oh god,
he's already played a sorcerer, guys. He's awesome.
I would actually go for. I think Johnny Depp would be interesting in that role. Maybe that's too cliched. Maybe I think that's the first name that pops in my head is Johnny Depp. He looks the part, and you just think Strange, Johnny Depp. But
I think he'd be too eccentric.
I don't know. After watching The Lone Ranger, I'm not a big fan of him.
Well, yeah, he's fallen off, that's for sure. But I mean, I don't know.
His Tonto was not so great.
Let's spoil the after the credits scene, where
yeah.
you know every Marvel movie you go see now is gonna have something after the credits, and so
or two things.
oh, they go fuck themselves. The first thing, we'll talk about both scenes.
Yeah.
The first scene shows Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, who are going to be in Avengers 2, and it showed that they had been in this deep, dark Hydra facility, and that I guess
They
Hydra...
were created.
Yeah, they were created. They're not mutants, guys. it is not in their genes,
Fox
guys.
owns the word mutant and gene, or genome, or whatever. So, they are...
The
special.
Disney legal team made sure to vet that scene pretty heavily.
So, like, what did you guys think of the introduction to Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch? And then going forward, what kind of role do you think they'll play in Avengers 2?
They looked really cool. You know, Quicksilver was, like, freaking out with his powers, like, banging against the wall. Scarlet Witch was, like, making blocks float in a really creepy way. I think it's, what's her name? The actress, the young actress.
I don't know.
I'm horrible with names.
I know Kick-Ass plays Quicksilver.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's him.
Oh, I missed that
He's
one.
on the come-up. Godzilla, Avengers
right?
2, here he comes.
Yeah, Aaron Johnson.
Aaron Johnson, I think that's right.
Oh, Christ, this is going to bother me. Could
Whatever.
you please... No, I want to know.
We need to know the name.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked it.
I think they're going to start Avengers 2 as partial antagonist.
I'd say enemies, definitely.
Yeah. Well, see, this is interesting because, actually, another prediction, as we all know by now, Avengers 2 will be Age of Ultron. They'll introduce the supervillain Ultron. I think his origins are going to play in somehow with what happened with Dr. Zola. Because, you know, Dr. Zola, as I said, he transfers his intelligence into a computer. He's a sentient computer, pretty much. I guess they blow him up in this movie. But I as soon as I saw that, I was like, I bet that's going to play into the creation of Ultron at some point in Avengers 2.
I thought Ultron was like an alien.
No, Ultron is a computer.
Oh, okay. I know what you're thinking of now. Who is I guess Thanos.
It's Elizabeth Olsen.
Elizabeth Olsen? Is
Scarlet
Witch? Okay.
No.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen.
Really? Oh.
At the end of the first Avengers, when they show Thanos.
Yeah.
So then what role does he play?
Avengers
3?
Actually, I think so. Well, because here, I've seen the end credits thing from. Okay, interesting. We were looking at pictures of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, but I've seen the end credits thing from Thor 2 when Benicio del Toro is like
the collector,
taking stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing he had, the Infinity Shard.
Yep.
That forms part of the Infinity Gauntlet that Thanos looks to control. So they're building this up because Guardians of the Galaxy is probably going to deal with a little bit of that.
Are they going to deal with the stones of power or whatever like that?
They make up the they fit into the
because
Infinity Gauntlet.
in Loki's staff is the Heart Stone,
right?
Or Mind Stone,
which is also in the final scene, and we saw them messing around with that in this secret Hydra lab. So yeah, they're obviously like setting up a lot for the second movie.
Yeah,
I think Thanos is like. I don't know if you call him the arch nemesis of the Avengers, but I think that's what they're setting him up as. They'll probably.
I would say, if they go really big scale, they could be a arch enemy of both Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, yeah, I think that's...
And they could have a giant team up of all
No, they're
people.
not having a
I think they will.
I say eventually they'll do that.
And,
no.
Well, hey, look, they have movies planned out till 2028.
Yeah, they have movies till 2028.
Okay, but Robert Downey Jr. his contract's gonna end, so then it'd be then Chris Evans only has a few more movies.
He has 6. Well, I think.
No, he had
4 more now.
Yeah, he has four more.
Three or 4 more.
So that's like okay, so that's 2 more Avengers, right? Mm-hmm. The third Captain America, that leads like 1 more. And they're not gonna do. There's not enough screen time.
But I think
to put all those characters on screen, it's impossible.
We might see the first like major like 4-hour movie. I mean,
4-hour movie.
Tell me you wouldn't actually. Well, no, I'm stupid. They'll do the thing with the Hobbit. They'll break it up and do it every year. Do like 3 parts.
3-part Avengers.
Honestly, though, wouldn't you pay to see like 4-hour Avengers?
Guardians of the Avengers.
I mean, you know I would.
Yeah,
but that's not the point. Would it be good at that point? When it would just feel like so cluttered?
Yeah, you're right. Who knows? TV series, shit, I don't know.
Okay, we've been talking about the next Avengers, and we mentioned that Nick Fury, like, I guess gets rid of his eye patch at the end, sort of has the same symbol. Do you think he'll be in the next Avengers?
Oh,
Definitely.
Absolutely. I don't. What's the next? Is Guardians of the Galaxy the next movie?
Yes, it comes out in August.
Okay. He's not going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's not a major part. So after that is Avengers, right? So they left it hanging. You know, it's still like he's like going off to do something. I forget what, but he's going to be in it. You can't have an Avengers movie without Nick Fury.
No, I agree.
That's very true.
We talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's something we really didn't bring up. How does the destruction of S.H.I.E.L.D. affect Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the television series?
That is actually a good question. Well, no. They're having. We saw a preview of it actually in the theater that they're having this major event in the series. They're bringing in people from Thor. I forget what else. The chick from Thor. The chick.
The chick from I can't remember her name. But
yeah.
But also that one hero guy now that they're dealing with. I don't know his name either, but like he's
oh
like,
yeah.
So in general, they're adding people from different Sith.
Oh,
okay. Anyhow, my point is,
yeah.
How can you continue to have an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show when there is no more S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well, I think they're actually like really switching up the show. They're doing some major like changing shit.
Okay, but at the end of it, so then what do you have like?
Well,
left?
I mean, maybe in name only. You know, I don't know. Oh yeah, they have Bill Paxton coming on. I know what he's going to be, but also I'm not sure when this current season of or the current episodes of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. are taking place. Whether it's before or during or after Captain America: Winter Soldier. I
don't know why, because I know they connect everything and they really think through everything. I just feel like they started the show Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then they were like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" Like, why did the marketing team think about this?
Yeah,
because now it's like mid-season. They have like a caption, like a subtitle now, like Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Uprising, and it feels weird to switch mid-season, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is kind of bizarre. I don't know how much they must have a decent amount of collaboration between whoever's writing Captain America and whoever's writing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
I assume the left hand knows what the right hand is doing in that case, but who knows? I'll trust them that they have a plan for this. They've been building this since like 2008, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, and we talked about the second spoiler thing after the credits, because now apparently Marvel movies have two things.
Yeah,
it's like you watch the first credits, there's a scene, then you watch the second credits, and there's another scene. And apparently I missed a scene from Thor 2. First of all, that's fucking stupid. I shouldn't have to sit there and watch every single name that like was involved in this movie and that had any part, and like even the special thanks part, to see a goddamn like 30-second clip. And this 30-second clip was the Winter Soldier, which we said he survived.
Yeah. Good old Bucky. He was looking at the war memorial of himself. Yeah.
Because they have a war memorial in the Smithsonian
to Captain America.
To Captain America and the rest of the squadron he had.
Yeah.
And so, like, now he's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt he interferes or is involved at all with Avengers 2. I doubt he is. But I think...
Wouldn't be surprised.
Now Captain America 3 now has to center around him.
Well, that's the thing. He could be in Avengers 2.
What is it? It's just too much. You're adding too many people.
Yeah, it's gonna be... Okay, again, we're at the point where, like, there's no way they can pull this off. Like we were before Avengers. So until they fail, until I see this movie and I'm like, they fucked up, they did too much, I trust him.
He's Captain America 2.0, and if he fights in the Avengers 2, right, he has to take the side of the Avengers after everything he's went through this movie. He can't be an antagonist in this movie.
No, that's true.
Because he can't go back to the organization that messed him up the first time. So now you already have the Hulk, you already have Iron Man, you already have Black Widow, you already have Hawkeye.
Who surprisingly was not in this movie.
No, yeah, I was actually really surprised too that they decided to involve Colby Smulders instead of Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
That was a really surprising move to me. Overall, I didn't really bring this up. What did you guys think of Black Falcon's character? I don't think he's Black Falcon. I think he's just Falcon.
He's just Falcon. You made him a...
No, I think his name... I don't know.
It's just Falcon.
He was actually the first big African-American superhero.
I'm pretty sure he's like the first legit African-American superhero. Like, unless you want to count Steel and Shaq. Superhero movie.
Yeah, let's not count that. I liked it. Anthony Mackie's a really talented actor. I like how they brought him in. Like, him and Captain America were both guys who kind of, like, lost their, as he said, his wingman. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, he made a really good character. I felt like, again, this is almost, like, pretty down-to-earth, comparatively down-to-earth film. So when he kind of whipped out the like big steel wings, that was a moment where the whole, it kind of strained the plausibility of the film. It was like I'm so used to seeing like basically a Jason Bourne film that is like ching and he has the wings and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, there's so much technology in this movie that didn't make sense or not even near about it in this. I could believe steel wings with a jetpack could work.
I get it.
You skipped over the freaking Jedi Order holograms that they had.
Oh yeah.
And you just went straight to that.
What I mean is like that's like it's the same thing when they have like the
they can actually do
keyboards.
Holograms.
It's like big smart glass and stuff.
Oh no, I know.
My point.
That's what it's like. They had the meeting. That's what it reminds you of the Jedi Order holograms.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying
I saw Tupac at Coachella, man. I know they can do holograms.
But what I'm saying is like all that stuff, like the smart glass stuff, is like that's more advanced than what But it's like plausible near future. But the wings were just kind of like almost like really stylized to a point where it kind of broke the style of the film a bit. That it's small though, as I said, it didn't like ruin the movie or anything.
No, I really wish because at one point he has like a face off with like the main henchman of the main bad guy, and it turned out he doesn't get to kill him. Like a random carrier comes
alive? He was alive at the end.
He got burnt to a crisp, but he was alive. They'll probably bring him back. He's gonna be like Winter Soldier Part 2,
I guess.
But he has metal legs.
The Summer Soldier.
The Summer Soldier.
Yeah, like I don't know. They could have let him like beat him. They could have let him beat Anthony Mackie get that.
They really didn't show much of that fight either.
Right.
What?
Black Panther was the first black superhero.
Oh. I meant in film.
Oh. In film, really?
Blade.
Yeah.
Blade is the first black superhero.
Is Blade technically a superhero?
Yes, he's based on comic books.
I know he's a comic. Okay, but anyhow, that's a whole other thing. Cause we've discussed this before too. No, but I guess just to wrap it all up, final score, guys.
8 point something.
8 point something. Wow, way to be descriptive, Andrew.
Something 0.8.
Oh, there you go.
No, I'm not harsh with films. I'll give it 9.2.
I'd probably go 9. I really liked it overall, and I think it's still because I know there was someone arguing with me that it was gonna be like as better than the Avengers. I don't think you can top that. I really don't, and maybe Avengers 2 will.
Yeah, it doesn't have the firepower to outdo Avengers. Avengers is Avengers. They had so many people that like just the star power alone is enough to
Robert Downey Jr. man, he's
absolutely, yeah.
What are they gonna do once he leaves?
I mean, I guess they're hoping
they're
just have Don Cheadle in a suit. Like that's stupid.
Well, no,
I don't like Don Cheadle's character at all. Anyways,
I think they're hoping to develop. I mean, it's basically like a sports team at this point. You're hoping to develop another character that is like with another actor that is so like
plays him with Ant-Man.
right. Maybe Paul Rudd can do it. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Okay, I think all of us are looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy now, which is the next movie in this universe, and the 2 scenes after the credits.
2 scenes, yep.
And see what this holds for this universe, because I'm really looking forward to it now.
Yep.
You guys think Hulk will ever get his own movie? Mark Ruffalo?
I hope so. He deserves it. No,
I mean, yeah, I hope so, but I don't foresee it in the near future.
I don't think so.
No, he's not doing it.
Because there hasn't really been a good Hulk movie.
No, there hasn't been.
Okay, guys, this is the end of our Captain America 2 spoiler cast. Remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube page. And come back to RetroRecom.com for more news, reviews, and opinion pieces.
See ya.